Have you ever considered investing in a medical or an office building as real estate investment assets? Are you curious to learn about them? Then you need to listen into this. I would like to welcome you to another episode of Real Estate Conversations with Harsh. Today, we have an entrepreneur, an investor, and owner of multiple businesses. He has been investing in real estate for over 18 years and has a very specific niche where he focuses on medical and office buildings and also has some part of the portfolio in light industrial. He currently owns assets for 85 million plus that he manages. And we would like to welcome Adney Fernandes to the show. Welcome, Adney.
Thank you. Thank you. How's it going, Harsh?
Good. How are you?
Oh, very well. Very well. I'm very excited for this podcast.
Absolutely. Okay, so we'd like to know more. I know you have been doing it for 18 plus years, but before, and now you run the CanCom Investment Club, you do the A2 real estate investments, you're into digital space, so many things you're doing, right? So we'd like to start from where you started and why was it that it was real estate that you got into? Because 18 years ago, I know there was not many resources when you would have started, right? So we'd like to know more about how you got started into real estate.
For sure. A pretty simple story, actually. So I was not, I'm not the college or university type. I actually like working with my hands. So that kind of dictated where I was going to go. So I was going to be a field guy no matter what I did. Whether it's working in a store, whether it's working, out as a mechanic, it mattered not. So just through word of mouth, when I was very young in my early 20s, when I had lots of hair, I actually ended up talking to a few people who said they were buying just one or two extra properties. And these were people in their 50s and 60s, mind you. When I was in my 20s, I got exposed to one or two of these people, and they talked about real estate like it was a big deal. Well, I started looking into it, and I thought, I was working 3 jobs at that time, 2 full-time jobs and 1 part-time, and I was working those jobs all at the same time. So I was working about 100, 120 hours a week, and I thought, this could be a nice retirement plan. I could probably make some money off of it, maybe retire earlier. So I bought myself my first condo when I was 23, 24, saved up my own money, took me a couple of years. Then about 2 years later or a year later, I thought, why can't I buy a second condo? And the banks gave me a hard time. People gave me a hard time. Lenders gave me a hard time. I didn't let that dissuade me. So bought my second condo. Then I went on to buying semis and then houses. After about 5 years of owning multiple, it didn't really work out for me in terms of my plan. That's a great plan if you don't mind working 2-3 jobs, waiting for the mortgage to get paid off in about 25, 30 years, then retiring. I actually want to live off my income, and I also wanted to be a stay-at-home dad. That was kind of my goal. I want to still work, still bring in some money, but I wanted to live comfortably as a work from home or stay-at-home dad. So I switched to doing commercial, Harsh. And after about 2 years of doing commercial, about a 6-plex, 26-unit building, that's when it really took off. I was able to take that model and tweak it to make it better, which is really what got me into my niche of medical buildings, office, and light industrial. Those are the 3 that have, for me, withstood the test of time. And it's actually what got me to my 85 million plus in assets that I'm managing.
Excellent. So in medical buildings, that's kind of a curious thing because most of the investors, they are either into apartment buildings, residential, more of a rental housing providers.
Yes.
And not many are into medical office buildings and warehousing. They'll do, I've seen some doing storage, but really into warehousing.
Yeah.
So what's so specific about medical buildings that you like or office buildings? And then we'll also get into warehousing, but let's start with the medical building. Like, what made you go for medical buildings? Because that's a very, very specific niche that you targeted.
Well, when it came to commercial, as you and I know, we're veterans in the industry. So with commercial, it's very vast and it's very broad. So residential is singular. And there are a couple of things which you can invest in, condos, semis, houses, but that's where it ends. Maybe a duplex, right? But that's where it kind of ends. Once you get into commercial, I found the apartment buildings are one. They're like buying your first condo. When you buy your first, 20 unit, 50 unit, 100 unit building, that's one asset class within commercial. It's actually kind of the gateway. And once you do enough in apartment buildings, I realized I want to make more. I want to do more. I actually didn't want to deal with the general public when it came to renting, but I want to deal with businessmen like you and me, businessmen and women. So in knowing that I want to deal with businesses, Harsh, I had to select my asset class that I want to get into because, think about it on a day-to-day basis. I'm really not bothered by my commercial tenants, my business tenants. They only contact me if there's a true emergency. Roof is caving in. The parking lot is kind of, sagging. If there's a fire, a flood, there's got to be something serious for me and my management team to get involved. That's what I like about dealing with businessmen and businesswomen. So I had to then get into, okay, what kind of asset class do I want to get into? That brought me to the office asset class, which is the first one that I deviated from. So I was doing multi-units. I didn't enjoy it as much, Harsh. I'm telling you, there's some good things, there's some bad, there's some ugly things about it. So yes. I got out of it. And I actually first went into the office/retail space. In fact, I was one of the first people a long time ago in my neck of the woods to actually convert retail space into flexible office space and then flexible industrial space. I was able to use that same space, Harsh, to do multiple things at the same time. Okay. And so it went from there into actually talking with a few doctors, dentists, chiropractors, x-ray techs. I realized that these medical buildings were standalone buildings. And yes. I thought, why couldn't I deal with these medical businesses? That's all. It was just an evolution from my office and retail into medical. I just wanted to get specific. It was like if I picked, hey, can I deal with just engineers and consultants? Can I deal with just architects and engineers? You know what I mean?
Yes.
All I did was I picked a niche that I thought had the backing, had money behind it, because I didn't want my tenants to struggle. Okay, so when they're coming into, right, if I want my people to come into one of my buildings, I just didn't want that business to struggle. So I picked, for me, it was evolution. So I picked medical.
Yes.
And it's taken me, I'm telling you, a good 14, 15 years, Harsh, to build traction. Because I'm telling you, that community, the medical community, is very tightly knit. And remember, I'm not a doctor, not x-ray tech. I have nothing in medical, not even research and development. So for me to kind of come in as an outsider, offer a service that is, medical related, but I'm not a medical guy, I'll tell you that took me more than a few years. Okay, it's taken me quite a number of time and lots of stress to actually get into that community. But I'll tell you, now I can tell you 14, 15 years later, I have lots of connections in the medical community across Ontario. So when I acquire a building and I'm converting it from office to full medical, I have the necessary resources. I actually have private lenders, funders. I have banks, credit unions that specifically will give me 120% loan to value on medical buildings. Yeah. Now, post-COVID, that might be, obviously, that's going to change. But pre-COVID, I can tell you I was easily getting 100% financing.
Oh, wow. Very nice. Very nice.
But you do have to prove that you know what you're doing before you acquire. There's a lot of not Q&A, due diligence.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah. So what kind of, and that due diligence now, what kind of due diligence is actually required when somebody's trying to get into these kind of assets, right? Because in a rental housing, what happens is you take a look at the building, there's normal appraisal, what kind of tenants are there, inspection, what kind of asset it is, how does it perform, and all those kind of things, right? But in a medical building, what do you look at? Like, apart from the generic things, what are the specific, some quick tips for the viewers and the listeners?
Sure. So I'll tell you what I look at, and it might be different from other businesses that look at medical buildings. What I look at, Harsh, is I'm a big fan of infrastructure. Yes. I need to look at the infrastructure, the systems, and the network of that building and property. So some of the things I look at. So, we all look at leases, right? But you have to look at commercial leases, which, as you and I are aware, are significantly different and vastly complex. Yes. I've seen and I have 25-year leases. I've written out 10-year leases, okay, just on this medical building alone that I'm in. So they can be vastly complex. So what I normally tell people is, don't look at the leases with just your own eyes. Get a mentor, get a lawyer, get an accountant, like a corporate accountant, to look at your leases and kind of dissect those commercial leases, because just a few clauses can save you a few $1,000s, or they can cost you a few $1,000s. So a commercial leases is one. The second thing that I look at is I personally go talk to each commercial tenant. That's one of my requirements. I don't care what the landlord says. I don't care what the realtor says. I don't care what the lawyer says. I need to satisfy myself. So I will go talk to each tenant and make sure that they're a verifiable business, they're real business. I can Google them. I need to make sure that these people are real, one. And two, I want to see what their project planning is or business planning is over the next 5 to 10 years. Are they planning on staying in the building, or are they exiting? Believe it or not, Harsh, I've had a lot of tenants, when I come in to do a little Q&A, they tell me, hey, I'm planning on leaving in the next 6 months. Don't buy this building, because I'm going to be gone.
Yeah, because I've seen we can correlate now is not be an accurate time to compare, but normally in commercial, especially in the office and these kind of assets, where if the tenant leaves, sometimes it can take you around 6 to 9 months to fill that space in.
More now. It's more. Yes. So post-COVID, it's 1 to 2 years.
Yes. I'll tell you. Yes, pre-COVID, it was like 6 to 9 months usually. So you better be checking those leases that are in place, right? But what is amazing about these kind of deals and leases is that you continuously, you sign it up for 5 years, 10 years with an incremented rent every year. Based on what kind of asset it is, right? And people happily sign it, and now they are in there for 10 years, 5 years at the minimum. And
it increases every single year automatically, right? They give you new checks. And so I'll elaborate a little bit. So the other thing I do focus on when looking at commercial buildings, I was mentioning infrastructure. Believe it or not, I actually am a big fan of looking at the roof, the capital expenditures, like the windows. I actually look at the basement inside and out, and I look to see how it's built. Is it wood? Is it with wood beams built downstairs? Is it with I-beams, like I-beams and T-beams, which is all metal? I look at the structure from the bottom up. I look and see what's in and around the neighborhood too, Harsh. In a 1 to 5 kilometer radius. What are the businesses? What are the houses? What kinds of neighborhoods are there? What kinds of people? What's the attraction point? But back to the building, infrastructure is a big deal. If the building is not built well, remember, it's not a house, right?
Yes.
In a house, when something goes wrong, it's a couple of grand. In a commercial building, Harsh, when something goes wrong, something breaks down, I'm going to tell you, man, it's 25, 50, 150,000. Okay. Yeah. So I have to have an eye, not really for the tenants, Harsh.
Yes.
I focus on the infrastructure as something as simple as what systems are in that building. And I'm talking about what sprinkler system is in there.
Yes.
What alarm system? Because I'm telling you, Harsh, I've bought a building with a really crappy sprinkler system, which I didn't know to look for. And when a fire came, the sprinkler system barely activated. And so there was yeah. So that's the thing. You got to think about these things well ahead of time. And by the way, sprinkler system, they are $100,000, $200,000 systems. They are not cheap at all. Okay.
Wow.
So I have to look at all of those, again, infrastructure, systems. I have to look at the network of the building, how it's wired. You know, is it aluminum? Is it the old copper piping? Because the building I'm currently in, it used to be an old school from like 40, 50 years ago. I have to look at the wiring. So imagine all of those reports, environmental, ESA, electricians. I have to get a plumber's report. I have to get what I call a BS. It's coming to me. Hang on. BCA, a building condition assessment, right? Which tells you what the economic life is of all the capital expenditures in the building. So I won't elaborate on it too much because I'm getting into it too deep, but it really does get complex, Harsh. And I will tell you, part of my strategy that I'm going to let your viewers know, when I acquire a building, Harsh, I look at making 1 to 2 million in profit every 5 to 7 years. Okay. In profit.
That's
right. If I cannot buy that building and I can't make it, because of all these problems, I just won't buy it. Yes. That's kind of my base strategic formula. I build off that.
Okay, perfect. Now, I want to jump a little and dissect because you're running into multiple businesses, right? Yep. So now you not only do real estate like medical buildings, office, and industrial, you're also into the digital marketing. And recently you also started that AI technology venture, right?
Yes.
I'd like to know more about how are you able to manage all of this and a little bit about what you do in digital marketing and what's that AI tech company that you're working on right now.
For sure. I'll tell you a little bit about how it started, actually. I'm telling you, Harsh, for a long time, a solid 15 years, I was just a real estate guy. Like I went from residential into commercial, even in commercial, I evolved, right? Through different asset classes.
Yes.
And then we had the economic downturn that happened, quite recently, 2 to 3 years ago.
Yes.
I was left thinking, my goodness, commercial could have gone down. It could have gone up. We don't know. We couldn't have predicted that. Luckily, it went up. But I was left thinking, Harsh, as a business entrepreneur, why should I just be in commercial real estate? Why can't I do more? So I'm gonna tell you what I thought about, and it was mind-blowing for me. Mm-hmm. About 2 years ago, I realized that I needed vertical integration. Okay. Vertical integration means I own multiple parts of what creates my business. I'll give you a live example. 2 years ago, I was actually paying people to do my websites, to do my marketing, to do my branding. I was hiring people to do my legal. Okay.
Yes.
What I thought, Harsh, is if I use the concept of vertical integration, why can't I service my own websites? Not one. I just want you to keep in mind, these websites, are my credibility. They are my trust. They are my babies, right? They are basically my online business card. They're my first introduction to people. It's a big deal with an $85 million Portfolio to have multiple websites because they have their use. Okay. Yes. They're very important websites. And I'm telling you, Harsh, I was paying somewhere between $5,000 to $15,000 a month to do the websites, marketing, branding. Okay. So to do all of that stuff, Harsh, to do all that work, PDFs, documentations, not just logos, but managing the entire brand.
Yes.
The websites, it's expensive. So I thought vertical integration. Why can't Adney take a stab at digital marketing and branding? So guess what? I started my own company. I actually learned by myself. YouTube, Google, lots of different resources. And Harsh, I'm proud to say now that we're actually close to a $20 million company right now with over 100,000 a year in active income. We have 38 clients in the last year and a half. Okay. Wow. So we start with websites. We create websites for business owners, like people who want to start businesses and have businesses. We actually have clients who are bigger than that. So we have clients at a $30, $50 million mark. Beyond that, we actually offer branding and marketing. If you want to change or scale your business, we know how to do that because I've been doing it for 18 years anyway. But now we can do it on a digital scale. We also talk to people, the same people, about investments and business partnerships. So see, there's a vertical integration.
Yes.
Okay. So there's a vertical integration right there. We attach ourselves to the clients and we talk to them about multiple things. It's not just websites. Honestly, a website, anybody could build it. But to build a website, Harsh, that
and then to maintain it and scale your business, because you can have a $50,000 a year. What if you want to make a $250,000 a year? That's what I'm focusing on. So, but I apply it, by the way, to my businesses first. Yes.
Then I do it to clients. So if it works, now I'm bringing that product to clients. So that's what happened with digital. It honestly started from a need of my own. I expanded it to needs of clients. And I'm hoping to end this year with about 50 clients.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that are not me. And AccessView. So I created the AI technology company. Again, Harsh, that came out of a need. So it's very simple. I wanted to have a way to look into my building and see. So, Superman? Superman was my favorite superhero as a kid. I've always wanted to have his X-ray vision. If there was one thing I could have, it was X-ray vision. I would love to look at the inside of all my buildings and go, that's the flow rate of water, of electricity, of natural gas. I would like to X-ray to see, hey, is there condensation building beneath the roof before the water leaks through the roof? Can I use X-ray vision to see when the sewer is backing up? That's going to cost me 100, 200. Okay. So what I did, Harsh, was I actually partnered with somebody here in Sudbury, and I ended up building a device about this big. Okay. It looks about the size of my phone. And we've actually custom programmed it for each building. It's actually built with AI. So it's artificially intelligent. It's proactive. This device, Harsh, I put it into any commercial building. It can sense about 20 different variables: water, heat, sewer. It can sense the roof. So this device can tell you before the roof actually leaks, it can send a message to your phone saying, hey, there's a buildup of condensation here. Here's the percentage. In this grid, this location, this building, go deploy a plumber. Can you imagine how much money that would save you on a commercial roof if you get that proactive message ahead of time? What if you get a message before the sewer builds up? What if you get a message, well, let's say you're vacationing, I don't know, in Italy, and you have your AI device in every building? What if you got a message that your natural gas was off, or your electricity, there was a surge in your building? What if you got that message on your phone? And you don't have to pay this person. It's a device that lives 24/7. So I'm actually starting to integrate my own device that we're building. It's artificially intelligent. We've also started programming this device, Harsh, to react to the environment. So let's say there's a surge in the water, pipe break or something. My device can actually shut off the main water by itself after realizing the water has gone on to a certain peak. So I've actually built in AI so that it can sense and control the valves in the building.
Oh, wow. Okay? That is really helpful because, I don't know if any software can do that. But AI nowadays is like bizarre, right? Like nowadays what it can do, and oh my God. It's a learning experience for me too. Don't get me wrong. We've known each other a long time. I'm not a huge tech guy. I'm an old school kind of guy. So this is
new to me, but I can tell you with the AI, I feel like I'm on the cutting edge of saving millions of dollars per investor, over for a 5 to 10 year period. I recently talked to a very big, they're the second biggest insurance company in Canada, and they would actually like to recommend this device to everybody across Canada. So that partnership is still ongoing. Nothing is set in stone, but I do like that a major insurance provider with billions in assets is telling me, hey, this is a great idea. Can you get it out to the market? Anyway.
Oh, no, absolutely it is. Absolutely it is. I think because every time what we have seen, like in any building, and not just medical building, right?
Yeah.
In any building, whenever there may be a leak, there's anything, right? It takes a lot of effort to eventually figure out where the leak is from, because water does not drop or comes out where it actually starts, right? So it spreads, and the weakest point it finds in the ceiling or in the wall, that's where it comes out. So you need to like break it, check all the things. But if we already know that, there is this particular joint that's faulty, we just cut there and just fix that piece. And then getting all the messages on the phone, if there are surges or like all these kind of things, it's really awesome. Yes,
I think so too. So we're actually going to have our device. We're going to link it to an online portal. So for desktop users, and we're going to link it to the phone. The phone is the most important part because everybody has one.
Yes.
And we do like that our buildings, we're actually going to build it for commercial because it's more complex. And then we're going to do residential. And what we want to do is we want to make this device affordable for everybody. Yes. We don't want to make it where, it's $150,000 to invest in the system per building. That's just too much. It's not affordable, right? Unless you're institutional. So we want to make it for the average investor. Wow. That's my focus. I want to get the manufacturing, the logistics. I am actually going to manufacture it myself. We're going to create a little bit of a vertical integration to make this affordable for people.
Oh, wow. Very nice. Now, on the same lines, because I'm coming on to scalability, right? So now you have a $85 million portfolio in real estate. You're also doing that digital marketing thing where you just started a year ago, which you're already working on with clients. Now the AI tech thing.
Yeah.
And you also run the CanCom Investment Club. That's the monthly thing. So all of this, I wanted to get on to the scalability side of things. How are you doing all of these things? Because you're just one person.
I am just one person, Harsha. I'm just, as you know, I work very hard. And I'm a big believer in work-life balance. So know that I've been a stay-at-home or work-from-home dad for the last 14 years.
Too, right? Stay-at-home dad and managing the kids. So that's another business.
that business is the most stressful business in the world. The world. Managing my kids. Oh my goodness. The losing of the sleep. It's not my clients. It's not my buildings. It's not my portfolio. Not my businesses. But that one alone, just the kids, Harsh, let me tell you. I think I've aged, honestly, I've probably aged 10, 15 years just by managing my kids. My goodness. So besides the kids, I was going to say, besides the kids, the way I manage my business, the way I think about it, Harsh, is that we all live in the same time frame. We all live 24 hours a day. We all breathe the same air. Okay, it doesn't matter where we are in the world, we're all breathing the same air. So how come some people are billionaires and trillionaires and some people like me are not? How come they can manage so many businesses and assets and estates and I can't? So it actually evolved over 18 years. Okay, it's an evolution. It's my mentality. I'm thinking, why can't I do it? It's why can't I do it and how do I do it? So instead of kind of telling myself, Harsh, that, okay, I work in real estate full time. My goodness, I can spend 80, 100 hours a week doing it, which, as you know, is possible. Making whatever money you make. I always think, I don't like being invested into one thing for 80 to 100 hours a week. Plus, I have my kids, I have my wife. We've been happily together we just celebrated 17 years together, So
congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. So I have my personal life, which I need to balance. And I thought, why can't I just spend 5 hours a week, Harsh, on real estate? Why? The problem came down to efficiency, how I spend my time, implementation, how I talk to people. Again, it actually, funnily enough, it comes down to infrastructure, systems, network. So I thought, how do I scale up, but how do I make everything efficient so that I can still make money, I can still make connections, I can still buy buildings and manage them, but Harsh, I do it in about 5 hours a week. It took me 15 years.
Is it like more of hiring people who manage things and you just oversee and manage those people instead of managing the buildings? Or is it more of that you have built-in process and systems that have grown efficient over time that you really don't need to spend that much amount of time and you just, I'm pretty sure you have many property managers and all those people kind of taking care of things, right?
I do, but it is the latter. You're absolutely on point. You're hitting the nail on the head. It is actually the latter. I actually have built processes. I've built forms. I've built websites. I've built people. I've trained people like my property managers, superintendents. They're not the only ones, right? Remember, Harsh, I also train my accountants. I train my lawyers. I train my appraisers. Now, these people are professionals in their field. I'm not going to take 15, 20 years to gain the experience, so I'm just going to hire them. But I'll tell you, my lawyer, my accountant is as important as my property manager, who's as important as my research and analyst. You know what I mean? So I do hire those people, but I am the one that creates the efficiency process. And the way that I split it up is I focus on a different business every day. That's how I'm doing it. It might be right, it might be wrong, but this is how I'm managing my real estate portfolio of 85 million, my AI tech company that's now worth between 7 to 10 million right now because we're raising capital from venture capitalists, my digital company that's worth close to 20 million. Because we have 38 clients. So I do a different business every day.
Oh, wow.
That's what I'm doing. Yeah. And don't get me wrong. I still have to do emails. I still have to do voicemails. I am the main salesperson in my company. I am one of the main drivers. And then I will hire out. Like I'll hire research and analyst. I'll hire obviously a lawyer, appraiser. I will hire, maybe a marketing specialist. But I am the driver forward. And and I take on a role. Like my role is usually sales and operations. I think I'm good at it. So I keep that for myself, but I will hire the rest.
Okay. All right. So it's a combination of systems and hiring people because you only have 24 hours, right?
Everybody does, Harsh, but how can some people like, what's his name now? It's not coming to me. He hosted New Year's. He hosts New Year's every year. I'm just forgetting his name. He owns 17 businesses. He hosts New Year's every year. He's very famous. The name is just not coming. But I learned that he owns 17 businesses that he runs in the same 24-hour period. Well, if he can do it, why can't we? We're all trapped, Harsh. You as a realtor, a mortgage agent, investor, think about it. One job can take up 100, 120 hours a week easily.
Absolutely, yes.
I think we spend too much time working, all of us, including myself. I think we should all work a little bit less and spend a little bit more free time. Because, I can't do my businesses, Harsh, if I don't get my time off, honestly. I cannot. I need my brain to relax.
Yes, absolutely.
So I have to balance. Yeah.
Yes.
That's really what it is.
Okay, and now you just mentioned about raising money. And I know it's not possible to scale to a $85 million portfolio without raising capital, right? So you do raise money, but my question is not about raising money. It's about the market now, right?
Yeah.
How are you finding the market now for raising capital, and where are you finding the capital now? Because for every business to grow, you need capital. So either it can be through the private lending, the banks, or like your investors who invest money with you, either real estate, either the tech company, or anything, regardless of what business it is, right? You definitely need capital. So how are you finding the market now in terms of raising capital? Is it difficult? It's getting more easy. There is more money with people. How is it?
It actually is getting tougher. Okay,
Yes.
so post-COVID, it actually is getting tough. It's been tough for the last 2-3 years anyway.
Yes.
Okay, but I'll give you a little secret. Okay, so the way to raise money, any business, it honestly, Harsh, it doesn't matter whether it's my club, my investment club, whether it's my digital business, my AI tech business. It doesn't matter what business you own, guys. What you want to do is you want to have a business planned out, and you got to start to action stuff now. Just think about it. If you come to somebody like me, okay, who does private lending, and you're saying, Adney, invest in my business, what am I going to ask you for, guys? Am I going to ask?
Hold on. You do private lending too now?
I do. Yeah, I do private lending. So about 6 million of it. So it's not.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So guys, if you come to me with a Post-it note and you say, here's my idea, it is unlikely that I would give you money or invest in your business. But if you come to me with a business plan, if you've actioned some items, if you've done this, that, and the other, if you've proven yourself, let's say not in real estate, but maybe you own, I don't know, a Post-it business. Let's say you own a cup business, and you bought and sold it, entrepreneurship. Guys, you have to have an edge. So if you're going to raise money, have an edge. Do something. Don't just talk about it. Show me actionable, measurable, analytical, methodical steps that you've taken that will show me that you're going to be successful. Now, beyond that, the how. The how, Harsh, I'm a big fan of pivoting. That's my secret word. One was vertical integration. Second one is pivoting. I've learned since COVID, even before then, to pivot. When SARS hit, when the financial crisis hit, when the financial collapse hit, you know what I did, Harsh? I pivoted. Okay, I didn't just stay in my own lane. I thought, how can I make it better? How can I change or tweak with the times? That's the key right there. So what happened was, pre-COVID, I'm a big handshake kind of guy. I'll meet you at an event, seminar, whatever it is. I'll meet you at a coffee shop. I will shake your hand, look into your eyes. I'll explain what I do. If there's a synergy, perfect. We're business partners together. Post-COVID, everything went online. I am not an online guy. Okay. So about the time when I'm starting my digital business, I thought, hey, why can't I raise money online? I had to tweak and pivot and rejig how I presented my businesses online. So I'm proud to say, Harsh, that me being a dinosaur, I've actually raised over $10 million with social media.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I knew how to raise money. I have that skill set. It's been 18 years. I've been doing it. Believe me, it's very tough, but it's doable. But I have that skill set that I've built and tweaked over 18 years. All I did was I added the social media or the online component as a step before. All I'm doing is I'm meeting people online, then I'm bringing them to live, then I'm taking them down my usual path. Okay. But I am proud to say that I've tweaked, I've pivoted to actually raising money online. So as to the how, I've taken my businesses, credible, trustworthy. I've been in the market for a long, long time. And I've just taken that same presentation, that credibility, that trust online, which has taken some time in learning. That's how I'm able to raise money. So that's the how. Where? I've already alluded to that. I actually love now. I've gotten used to being online with people. So I've raised money on chats at events. A lot of events are going like online only. So as the presenter is speaking, I actually am chatting in the background. So I'm connecting with people. I think the process is the same, Harsh. I'm connecting with people. I've reached people through Facebook. I've reached people through LinkedIn. LinkedIn actually has worked for me. I will be actually starting probably an Instagram channel as well. But I think what has also helped me out, Harsh, is having multiple funnels. We've talked about this before. Having multiple buckets or catch-alls with my different businesses. And I'm able to talk to those people and kind of bring them in to the lane that they want to be in. Okay. I'm not about converting people into doing what I want to do. If a person is never interested in real estate or investments, Harsh, trust me, they won't care about my real estate stuff. They just won't. There's no amount of conversion, videos, digital marketing, clickbait. There's no amount of conversion I can do to make that person invest in real estate. So remember, I'm just appealing to people's, to their ideas, their thoughts, their transitions. I'm just asking them, would you like to be in the real estate investment lane? Oh, you're a business owner. Would you like to actually be a business owner? Maybe I can help you with that. There's the digital. Oh, wait a minute. You already own property. You're an investor. Well, let me talk to you about my AI tech company. I appeal to that sense. I'm not converting people. I'm just picking the lane that they're in, and I'm providing a solution or a service to them. I think that's what it is with me. I'm not a conversion kind of guy. I'm just not. I cannot I cannot sell ice to an Eskimo. I'm just not that kind of guy. For me, it's about having less barriers to entry and just appealing to their lane. Okay, I think that's the how and the where. It's not complicated. It's just what kind of business do you have and what are you offering?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. I want to get into your new project because that's something that you just started up, right? Your development project, right? So that's a huge, big project, about $80 million, right? That you'll be doing. So that you'd be constructing houses or building condos, or what is that?
So it came out of a need out of COVID where I thought I want to diversify. And, I've always wanted to be, as a multi-business entrepreneur, which is a word I'm making up, by the way, a multi-business entrepreneur, I actually like to have my hands in everything from a vertical integration standpoint. So if I'm buying buildings already, why shouldn't I be the ones to also create it? Right? Again, vertical integration. So I started raising money for developments, ended up raising a solid 10 million from my current partner, Jerry. His name's Jerry. I won't give you his last name. I'll give you his first name, Jerry. And we actually, I'm the working partner. He's the finance partner. And we've been working together for almost 3 years. We bought 2 plots of land, about 16 acres altogether. We actually bought out on my premise. We bought out an entire block. I bought out the entire block. Okay. We own 96% of the entire road. So the whole block on both sides. Right. Then my idea was to do a rezoning with the city of Sudbury to actually bring in more jobs, help more people, create spaces for people to live and come. So I am happy to say that the land was zoned rural. Both 8 acres was zoned rural. Now, one piece of land is zoned for a 120-unit senior home.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, the second piece of land is actually zoned for 6 detached houses, only 6. And the rest of it can be 4 multi-unit buildings, low-rise, which are 120 units altogether, or storage units. 120 units. Okay. Oh, wow. Yeah. So 120 units, 126 units on one side, 120 units on the other. And the way I've kind of thought about it is if I do about 200,000 a unit, that's 80 plus million right there. And that's at 200,000 a unit. Right. And in this economy, it could be worth a heck of a lot more. In all honesty, I had one appraiser tell me, Harsh, that this project, once fully built over 10 years, keep that in mind, is going to be worth, he thinks, over 100 million. Easy.
Yeah. Well, in 10 years, there will be a lot of things that change. And obviously, which the value which is projected now for 80 million, that easily would rise up to 100 million. There's no doubt about it. Or if not rise above, it will be close, very, very close to that. So
we're happy with 80 million. So honestly, 3 years into the project, Harsh, we've got another 7 years to go. Even if we do nothing with the land, it'll still be worth a whole heck of a lot more. And anybody who buys that kind of land today that's already had work done to it, guys, all you have to do is sit on it, provided you have the capital. Sit on it. Wait a decade and sell it. There's your retirement plan right there. Harsh, that's another new business for you to get into.
Well, I'm already overwhelmed with these many businesses right now we're talking about, right? I can't fathom how the hell is everything going on?
It is a lot to keep track of. Don't get me wrong. I'm only human. I make mistakes. Believe me, I miss meetings. I miss things. I've missed not projects, but I've missed deadlines. Trust me, Harsh, I'm only human, and I am, work from home, stay at home dad. Believe me, I miss stuff too, but I learn as I go. I don't make the same mistake twice. And so with having multiple businesses, I learn as I go. In fact, I'm currently at 7 businesses now. I'm hoping to be at 10 within the next 5 years or so. 36 months, 16 months. So I'm hoping.
Wow. That's really great. One last question that I have for the audience and the viewers who are listening and viewing the show. I've seen many people nowadays tend to not being able to find properties because obviously the sellers are scared. The buyers don't want to actually pay what the sellers want because they just want to lowball. So there are no deals in the market currently because sellers are saying that, okay, if you don't want to pay it, I'll just wait. We'll not even sell it for now. And we'll just wait for 6 months to a year. Yes. So what are your quick 2 or 3 suggestions as to when somebody's looking for a deal and they're not able to find, how do you find deals? Just quick couple of tips.
Sure. I'm going to tell you a little bit of philosophy and then I'll give you your tips, okay? I actually, Harsh, I don't look at deals. I don't go looking for deals anymore. It's a mentality shift for me. I don't look for deals, Harsh. I actually don't mind paying the current price, the current market value based on what it's making today. Not a projection. I will buy a building on what it's making today. Is there profit, Harsh? Today. Can I make 1 to 2 million in the next 5 years? That's obviously my game plan, but it has to make some kind of money today. The tenants have to be in it for the next couple of years, but they have to be in there today. So I don't look for deals anymore, Harsh. So that eliminates a lot of, I don't get rejected a lot, Harsh, because I don't look for deals. I look for properties that are at current value today. And my strategy is I will actually go on social media. I will get wholesalers. I will get realtors. I will actually talk to investors. I will even talk to lenders and mortgage brokers. So those are all my leads that are coming in. So when you want to know how to find, I reach out to all those people. Think about your power team, Harsh.
Yes.
Those are the people that you want to reach out to and say, I am looking to buy a property. Let me know what you have. You have friend, family member, coworker. But the reason I don't get rejected a lot, Harsh, is because I don't make lowball offers. Because I don't look for deals. I look to buy the current property today that's making money because I know, Harsh, in 10 years, it's going to be worth a heck of a lot more. The market is going to go up and down, Harsh, up and down. If it's not making cash flow or if it's not making money today, the tenant mix is not right, the building is in bad condition, am I going to buy it? No. And cash flow, by the way, we've talked about this before. Cash flow is a very small portion of what I look at. I look at the value add, the potential, what I can do with the building in 5 years. So when I look for that deal, Harsh, I go to my power team. I'm telling you right now, They've been my saving grace. They're bringing me properties, but I tell them, I'm not looking for a deal. I'm not looking for a lowball. Bring me the property. I will analyze it in its current state today.
Yes.
And if it works, I will make you that offer. Okay. Perfect. If somebody, if a $5 million property, as an example, Harsh, if somebody wants $7 million for it today because it's post-COVID, the numbers may not work, right?
Yes.
The numbers, the financing, the mortgage, all of that won't work. So I just won't pay it. It's that simple. I pay it based on, is the building operating and in a good condition today? I make them an offer based on that. I don't lowball. I also don't highball. I give them what it's worth today, and then I hold on to it for 10 years. Pretty simple.
Perfect. Okay, so that was a lot of real estate insight. Plus, I'm amazed by what you are able to do with all these kind of businesses running and the portfolio that you manage. That this talk will be really helpful to our viewers and listeners. I don't have any questions, but to the audience, we'd like to say that if you have any questions, if you like the content, just like, subscribe, and just post it in the comments if you'd like us to ask some more questions. And we'll be posting the social handles for Adney when we post the episode, so you can just directly contact and reach out to them if you have a business need and if you're an investor looking for some help or guidance.
For sure. Harsh, on a last note, I just want to say thank you so much for bringing me on. I really appreciate it. I love chatting with you.
Yes.
And looking forward to doing it again. Thank you so much.
Yes. Thank you very much, Adney. Thanks for your time.